to the CHGO White Sox Pregame Show, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app today and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Welcome in to Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow the show on Twitter. We'll be tweeting all throughout the game at CHGO_White Sox. And alongside me, as always, is the full CHGO White Sox crew, Vinnie Duber. Follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. Has two brand new posts up at AllCHGO talking about our leadoff man, basically, and Jake Berger, and not the White Sox leadoff man. Our today,
in the show today.
Sure. That could be confusing. But Jake Berger and the White Sox offense, and how Pedro, even though just coming off a sweep, still a little frustrated that they're not there yet in the work that they've been putting in. And also Liam Hendriks and his fantastic return to the field. Love the quote in there because I finally got to read it yesterday. Didn't get to read it. Got to read it, though, and just him talking about how he still wants to earn it. So great stuff over at AllCHGO. Make sure you check it out. And that's Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him on Twitter at Ecknerwell23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. We talked about Liam yesterday, and just if a moment arises tonight where it's a 4-3 game, the White Sox have the lead, do you bring Liam in to protect it? He said, basically, as you put, like, he needs to earn it. I don't know if he'd be surprised, though, maybe to be in that spot because he knows he's damn great.
Yeah, well, him. I guess it's us. Whether we would be surprised by the decision making at this point. We do know that Liam needed or needs still time to get back to feeling how he wants to feel in order to go out and dominate like he expects to do. Seemed like we saw that on Sunday. Obviously, he's the guy with the body. He knows how he wants to feel, and he can communicate with Pedro and the coaching staff whether he is at that point yet. But if you're just talking about eye test, it looked like he was ready to make those kind of pitches and do that kind of work from what we saw Sunday against the Tigers.
And I was just referring to the quote, I don't want handouts. I need to work. I need to earn it. The guys have been throwing well out there, but at the end of the day, that's mine. So, that's mine.
That's the mentality you got to have.
If he's exactly, and if he's in that moment tonight, I don't think he's going to blink.
No. No, you can't be like, I don't know. Well, maybe I can't. But yeah, it's his. He knows it's his. When it's time for him to do it, he'll be answering the bell, and I guarantee he'll be giving his all. I don't know, the last time, or one vivid memory of him in Yankee Stadium, not good, but I think he remembers that, and he will execute his pitches a little bit better this time.
Well, I even think to the corn game as well. That's not his fault because all that humidity from the corn
it was so hot. I have never sweated or sweat as much in my entire life as I did that day and night in Iowa.
I don't know. I mean, I don't understand how the Reds and Cubs didn't hit more home runs because, again, it was so hot there. And then also, like, the way that field was built, like, it leaned towards right field to the way, like, it just created this crazy, like, wind that, like, knocked all of those home runs out to right field. Like, a weird ballpark. Just like, I know they just played in Mexico City and there was like 100 home runs there.
That was awesome.
As well. Yeah. But like, I want more Field of Dreams. I want more Mexico City games. Like, play baseball everywhere because it just seems more home runs.
I just want wacky.
They're doing a London game again this year. And apparently the Cubs again are doing a goddamn another trip. Stop putting the Cubs in things. They ruin things. They killed the Field of Dreams game. Well, they didn't kill it, but it's off this year. Because the goddamn Cubs and Reds ruined it because it was boring as hell.
Well, it's because people turned it off. It's a novelty, right?
Yeah.
You see it once. If you see it again, it's no longer a novelty. That's what I'm saying. Keep doing novelty stuff. Just do a different goofy thing every year.
I agree.
People will tune in to watch.
Go to the Dominican Republic.
I wouldn't hate, though, if one of the home games for the White Sox have 80 home games and 81 road games, and one of the Yankee games just becomes the corn game.
Every year?
They host a corn game every year.
Again, the novelty will wear off very quick.
Yeah. But then it could still be cool.
I mean, depending on the game.
That's true.
If the Sox play the corn game every year and then, like, 2 years down the line they get, like, bashed, like, 11-1, you're not going to be like, oh, that was so cool. You're going to be upset.
I think I'll just be upset, though, that the White Sox lost, not because it's in Iowa.
I'll be upset that I drove 5 hours to Iowa.
Oh, you're going?
No, if I went.
Official, next corn game.
Yeah.
Herb's being there.
I mean, I didn't go to this last one, but, yeah, I'll be pissed. Like, ugh. I got to stay in a hotel like an hour away, and it's in Iowa. Not great state.
Well, yeah, I'm going there this weekend. Not excited. Clark brings up a Little League field game. They had that as well. I know it wasn't actually in a Little League field, which would be completely different.
They've done. Did they do the College World Series one, too, in Omaha? last year at the game. I believe they did a game, with the Royals hosting.
That sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So those type of games. I get you, Vinny. Maybe one in Portland.
Wackier stuff. Not just regular baseball stadiums in other places. Wacky baseball stadium in the middle of a cornfield kind of things.
Floating baseball stadium.
On top of a mountain. In a desert surrounded by cacti.
I'm thinking
under the sea, maybe.
Death Valley.
Love that song.
Hey, look at you. Topical, too.
Death Valley's pretty good.
It's hot.
Like, it's
the
hot.
hottest place on earth. You don't want to be there during baseball season at all. I went in December. That's when you want to be there.
Oh.
It was only like
can't do a Death
75
Valley
degrees.
It was like 50.
Oh, it's decent.
Okay. No Death Valley game, I guess. Yeah. I guess I'm really stuck to the movie and Kevin Costner thing, though. What if each in the ninth inning, Kevin Costner has to pitch for both
I thought
teams?
you were going to say we should come up with a list of goofy fields that are all based on a Kevin Costner movie. So we've already done Field of Dreams.
Bull
Next
Durham.
one, Waterworld, obviously.
I thought Bull Durham.
Yeah. No, that's just another baseball.
Well, you're right. No, that's exactly like you're being real creative with this. I just thought
draft day.
It's taking place in an active Cleveland Browns draft room.
Yes.
Office. It's just in an office.
Just balls whizzing by them while they're making picks.
All right, we should talk about the game coming up. White Sox are taking on the Yankees. Lucas Giolito versus Clark Schmidt. We'll get to the lineups and the starting pitchers in just a second. But I did want to get to a quote from Pedro Grifol from today. Jarvan Scowen of the Chicago Sun-Times is out there, and a lot of people were upset not seeing Jake Berger in the lineup. This is what Pedro had to say. Just know that if he's not playing, that if it's Sheets or somebody else playing, that's a better matchup that particular day. Who doesn't want Berger in the lineup? I want him too. However, we only have 9 spots, and it's really not 9 spots because he can't play shortstop or center field. Gavin Sheets is in right field. Eloy Jimenez is at DH. Yohan Moncada's at third base. No space for Jake Berger. No?
I mean, listen, we've talked about kind of the off-the-wall, perhaps, ways at which they could crowbar Jake into this lineup on a daily basis, but Pedro was kind of doing what he said he would do all along, and that is play the matchups. And obviously we were focused more on that from a pitching standpoint when we were talking about how he would use the bullpen, but he's got kind of an opportunity now to do that on the offensive side with all these puzzle pieces that he has to kind of fit together on a regular basis. When Jake Berger has been in the lineup, particularly when the games have been played on the south side of Chicago, he has been a force. There's no doubt about that. And so that's why you're even seeing them consider the notion of him playing some second base or to get some run over some of the guys that, I mean, remember, this is a guy who didn't make the opening day roster. So, Sean, you spent a lot of time, was it yesterday, 2 days ago, probably both, very upset about the fact that Eloy Jimenez was in right field, right? And there are probably a lot of other people out there that share that opinion. But you can't not be happy about that and also be like, well, then why isn't Jake Berger in the lineup? Like, there are going to be contrasting opinions here, clashing opinions that some people are going to have because this is not a quote-unquote problem with an easy solve, and it's probably a quote-unquote problem that has a different solve on a nightly basis, as we're seeing. Pedro has the data in front of him that he's using to make these lineup decisions. You've got to believe that the data that he says or that he sees is telling him that this is the best way to go. Certainly he believes that.
I'm not miffed that he's not in the lineup, especially on the road, because of the splits are just ridiculous. But he came off. I don't think he only played. I don't think there's 6-game homestand. I think he only played or started in 2 of those games where he actually mashes. So the consistency.
And one of the games that he didn't start, he came in late and hit a home run.
Yeah. So this is the thing. Like, if we're not going to play him in these matches, then that makes sense. Gavin Sheets is just as good, if not better, than Jake Berger, especially versus right-handers, and we're playing in a place with a short porch. So I don't, take out Gavin Sheets to put in Jake Berger. It's, I think, negligible, and I maybe would lean Gavin Sheets there. But at home, there's no excuse. Always got to play. I think you always got to find a way for him, and you just explained it very well, Vinny. It's a hard problem to have, and it's a good problem to have, but also to pigeon him into a spot where he doesn't play a lot. Like, he's not going to take games away from Yohan Moncada unless Moncada needs a rest. He's not going to take any games from what we have seen from Andrew Vaughn at first base, and DH and right field are the only spots that really he could get consistent at bats, and those are usually Gavin Sheets and Eloy Jimenez. So he has to find a way to put all those guys in and keep them all happy. But to Jake's credit, when he did come in that one time and he had the pinch hit, he hit the home run. He stayed ready to play. I think today he'll stay ready to play. They put a lefty in the game, and Pedro's not afraid to make the move in the 5th inning, 6th inning, but it's a little harder today because of Gavin playing right field. So if it's him for Gavin, it's going to be a hard swap because of, you have to have Jake Berger in right field. So
you could see Romy go out there and Jake can take over at second.
That's worse.
That's the thing is,
worse.
I would be more upset if Jake Berger was at second base today than not in the lineup. I'm fine with it. I'm upset like the Wendy's lady. You guys were surprised that I knew the "Where's the beef" reference.
Very much so.
I'm not upset like that lady. I'm fine that the beef is on the bench. I'm okay skipping the beef. But I do question it just because he might be a better hitter than Eloy right now. He is a better baseball player than Yohan Moncada right now, just with the way that he is playing. He's not a better defender, but with the bat, he's a better player. It's just such a difficult matchup with Schmidt just because he strikes out a ton of guys. So I don't know. I mean, Eloy's going to go up there and swing and miss a ton against right-handers. So is Jake Berger. Jake just barrels up a ton of baseballs, and he's been doing this since 2021 too. I mean, you go back and look at his barrel rate against every pitch. He did this last year too. I don't know. I think he really has something about him, and it's kind of like you're talking about him staying ready. He just kind of has that. He wants to prove it. He wants to be here more than anything in the world, and I think you could take that away from him. And it's because of all the work that he's gone through and all the injuries, all the ups, all the downs, and all the work that he's done to put himself in a place where if he gets sent down to Charlotte, it's not the end of the world. He understands that he is a baseball player. He's going to have the ups and downs of a baseball player, but I mean, are you going to be surprised if Jake Berger has a 10-year major league career?
No, he should have longer. And
this is an actual baseball player. So if he ends up in the lineup tomorrow at third base over Yohan Moncada, I'm not upset.
I think Pedro's punished him for his takes with your interview, the food takes especially. The Buffalo Wild Wings having the best burgers, and St. Louis pizza over Chicago. Ugh. He should be benched for both of those things. Not DFA'd.
Pedro spent a lot more time in Missouri than he has in Chicago, just like Jake. So I don't know if Pedro is quite as upset as White Sox fans are at some of those answers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Pedro has any dog. He's from Miami. He doesn't have any dog in the fight and the pizza discussion.
Probably not.
I mean, he
has taste buds, right?
He does have taste buds. That's fair. I mean, doesn't his family own a restaurant or like one of his close family? Because there was the video the White Sox shot.
Yes.
So I mean, I don't think they serve pizza there.
At the restaurant,
no,
I doubt it.
It looked like it was like
Cuban food.
Yeah, right. That would make sense. I think you could probably take Cuban food over pizza. Anyways, let's get into the starting lineup for the Sox. Leading off, Tim Anderson at shortstop. Batting second, Andrew Benintendi in left field. Batting third, Luis Robert Jr. in center field. Batting fourth, Eloy Jimenez at designated hitter. Batting fifth, Yohan Moncada at third base. Batting sixth, Andrew Vaughn at first base. Batting seventh, Gavin Sheets out in right field. Batting eighth, Romy Gonzalez at second base. And batting ninth, Seby Zavala catching Lucas Giolito again. Anything else besides Jake Berger stick out in this lineup? Kind of ho-hum, regular White Sox, no?
I mean, I don't know. I know that Lucas likes his personal catcher, so that's why Seby's in the lineup. But, yeah, he has to do something with the bat today. That 16 on OPS plus is unfathomable. Like, you got to do something with the bat. I'm not asking for a bunch of home runs. I'm asking for just major league competency as a catcher, as a backup catcher. He's not even that right now. So you can't have one spot in the lineup that's already struggling being that bad. So Lucas better have a great game, and he better call a great game because that's where his value's at, because it's definitely not with the bat. If he doesn't call a great game and Lucas gets lit up a little bit, I got to get some hits, something. You have to balance out why you're in the lineup.
I mean, he's in the lineup for what he's doing in the other facet of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I think you're under ideal circumstances, you're getting more value from Seby Zavala from what he's doing in working with, in this case, Lucas, but pitchers in general, than you would expect to get from him as an offensive player. I'm not saying that because he shouldn't be expected to do his job. I'm saying that because it shouldn't come down to Seby. You know what I mean? He's the 9-hitter. It should come down to TA and Eloy and Luis Robert Jr. and Moncada. Like, it should come down to all of those guys. The idea of this White Sox lineup is for all those guys to be the main contributors, and there are going to be days when Yasmani Grandal isn't starting behind the plate, and he's a guy who is also expected to be one of those main contributors with the bat. I'm not sure there are many teams across Major League Baseball who would expect their backup catchers to hit at a level equal to their biggest boppers in the lineup. And so obviously you're right. He can't be nothing, which is what a lot of his numbers have indicated that he's been. But the getting greater value from what he does defensively is not necessarily a bad thing for this White Sox team.
Yeah, and I mean, according to WAR, I mean, he's basically just a net negative. I mean, he's not like he's just a bench player. I mean, he's not the reason the White Sox are 25 and 36, or 26 and 35. No reason to make it out to be that way. His career OPS plus is 70. That's not good, but it's currently at a 16. Like, that's
significantly worse.
He's extremely underperforming, and the one thing that's always stuck out about Seby's profile is that he's been a BABIP merchant. He's always had an extremely high batting average on balls in play, but he never hits the ball hard. So now he's swinging and missing, not making much contact. You're not making any contact, and even trying to put the balls in play, like, that really makes your profile struggle. Not saying that all of these guys are trying equally hard. I'm not trying to dog them. I'm just saying, like if he's going to be swinging and missing a ton, and he's going to be chasing like 40% of the time, he's not helping himself. Like, there are just ways that Seby could improve hitting wise, and hopefully we start seeing those turn around.
I think you're exactly right, but I also would say that probably applies to most backup catchers on good teams.
Yes.
Throughout the history of Major League Baseball.
Absolutely.
If you give his career numbers of 70, weighted runs created plus, all good.
Yeah, I mean, it was 107 last year, too. So, I mean, like, he was above average. I mean, not to be spoiled. But also, 36 games this year. He played 20 in 2021, 37, 2022, 61. So he's played over half the games already than he did last year. So, I mean, he's more important to this team. So I guess that's why he is under the microscope, because anytime Lucas Giolito is going out there, Seby Zavala is catching him.
Yeah,
and that stand for anybody else, too?
I don't know if it's been that way on such a significant basis.
Structure.
I believe every start Lucas has made except for one, Seby has been the catcher. But again, too, that's talking to a less than this season shaking out in a less ideal fashion for this team, right? Because Grandal's health was supposed to be in a state where Seby was only catching maybe once every 5 days.
Yeah, but again, eggs in a broken basket. Let's go to the Yankees lineup here. And again, sorry, Seby, not to blindside you here, but leading off for the Yankees, Gleyber Torres at second base, batting second, Giancarlo Stanton at designated hitter. Man, he's tall. Batting third, Anthony Rizzo at first base, batting fourth, Josh Donaldson at third base. Boo! We can keep him up. We can make him louder too. I mean, I guess the worst. Batting five, Anthony Volpe at shortstop. Batting six, Willie Calhoun in right field. Batting seventh, Isaiah Kiner Falefa in center field. Typically an infielder, but he's just kind of that Swiss Army knife.
Got a good glove.
Plays everywhere.
Got a real good glove.
At batting eighth, Jose Trevino at catcher. He's a guy, backup catcher. It's a decent amount of bombs. Same with Kyle. Thank you. It's not in front of my face, so I can't phonetically read it out. And batting ninth, Jake Bowers in left field. Higashioka. I don't know where it was, and I was just trying to do, the John Sterling thing. He's got a great, of course.
Higashioka. What is this?
What a stroker from Higashioka. Anyways, that's the Yankees lineup. No Aaron Judge, which is the main thing. We kind of referenced it to it. No Judge today, and I think Boone referenced it as they are still waiting on the official diagnosis to determine whether he's not going to the injured list or not. So, I mean, they could completely miss Aaron Judge. That's probably that should have been the headline. White Sox to mention Aaron Judge for 3 games.
But that lineup, while you don't see and you don't maybe know the names at the bottom as well as the names at the top, formidable, still without Aaron Judge. And so Lucas has his work cut out for him, because that top of that lineup, man, mercy, home runs aplenty. Not as many as they had last year. I think Giancarlo has 11 and or Rizzo has 11. Giancarlo has about 9. He's been on the IL, of course, as he's want to do. But this team is going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Lucas to go through the order. Those Yankees don't rest on your laurels just because Arson Judge is in the game.
I mean, but missing Judge, I guess, is pretty good considering how good he's been.
Oh, it's great.
My God, that ERA plus, he's not a pitcher, so he doesn't have one of those. His OPS plus was last year when he was the MVP was 211. It's like 199
off year
through the first 2 years or something. Like he went out and had one of the best offensive seasons in baseball history last year, and he's like not far off from doing it again this year.
It's pretty good. I've heard that. I've heard he's pretty good. Shout out to Aaron Judge. Glad we're missing him for at least one game. But yeah, still, I mean, got to watch out for Giancarlo Stanton. I was also noticing this. StatCast has a fun little feature that they have, like the game preview. And I don't use it often, but they had this part where it's the first pitch swing percentage for the White Sox by lineup. And we kind of talked about their profile yesterday, just being so first pitch heavy swinging at and just kind of an aggressive profile. Tim Anderson, 62.6%. Andrew Benintendi, 63.8%. Luis Roberts, 67.5%. Eloy Jimenez, 65.2%. Yohan Moncada, 63.9%. Andrew Vaughn, 62.2%. Gavin Sheets, 55.5%. Romy Gonzalez, 66.3%. Seby Zavala, 70%.
Gavin Sheets' patience, that's what I hear.
There is one player that is under 60%, and it's Gavin Sheets. There is no players under 62% outside of Gavin Sheets.
And I'll guarantee that Clark Schmidt, the pitcher tonight for the Yankees, has read that scouting report and says, okay, here's a ball outside the zone. You're going to be swinging 2/3 of the time. Here's a ball out the zone. See if you can hit it and give me a weak contact to the shortstop.
Again, I think most teams have that scouting report because they keep doing it. So
I mean, you have
26 and 35, right?
You have it, so...
It took me a while to actually get to it too, but yeah, just wait. Don't take the first pitch. And I know we've said that before, and they don't listen because we're not their coaches.
I mean, they can't listen to the TV.
I will say this: I have heard from White Sox pitchers, and I believe that Ethan Katz has said this in interviews too. The White Sox pitching strategy is contingent on getting the first strike, on getting ahead in the count. Why wouldn't the hitting strategy be similar?
Because throwing strikes is hard. If it was easy to throw strikes, wouldn't you throw strikes?
I guess my point being that if the White Sox know from their own pitchers that they are trying to get ahead in the count, to get ahead 0-1 in the count, wouldn't the hitters take that knowledge and say, I bet that pitcher's going to try to get ahead in the count by throwing a strike?
I guess, but then also wouldn't the pitcher... I mean, it's kind of just like...
Well, that's the chess game.
Yeah, right. I mean, and also like what Pedro Grifol is saying is he wants them to be more patient. So listen.
Correct.
So listen to
overall, Pedro. Right. He wants them to stop swinging at pitches that are out of the strike zone.
Right.
And today,
that's not necessarily cured by not swinging at every first pitch.
That's fair.
Yeah, today's going to be a tough day.
I'm not saying don't swing at every first pitch, but like
only swing at the ones that are strikes.
Yeah. This guy.
What good advice, Sean?
Take a few, but even then, I mean, I say this too, but then like there's moments where my guy Andrew Vaughn and TA as well. These two just come out to mind, more kind of recently, but like they'll take a pitch right down the middle, right on an 0-0 pitch, and it's like, oh, why did you swing at that one? And then it's kind of automatically in their head, oh, I have to swing at the next one because I'm already down a strike, and that's where the ball. No, I know. I'm just saying.
That's the chess game. The pitcher has the advantage, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like hey, so I could be complaining on the post game later, or be like, you took that strike. What a bum. Anyways, let's go to the pitching matchup. Thank you, Greg. See, Greg, you've already moved on to this. He's a natural. He knows where I'm going. Fantastic. Glad you're here, Greg. Shout out to Greg.
Steven.
Hey, you can go. But no, look at it. Look at it this way, Steven. You can go to the gym. You probably go more than once a day. I'm surprised that you have a cap. Let's go to our pitching matchup. Lucas Giolito, 68 in the third innings pitched this year, a 4.08 ERA, 65 hits allowed, 69 strikeouts, 21 walks, and an ERA plus of 107. Clark Schmidt, although the numbers don't look great, a 55 and 2/3 innings pitch, a 5.01 ERA, 65 hits allowed, 65 strikeouts, 19 walks, an ERA plus of 85. The big thing is he's been really good in May, so kind of a bad April, good May, pretty good pitcher. So yeah. I wouldn't look at that 5 ERA and be like, oh, Matthew Boyd, here we go. Like, I mean, he might do the same thing Matthew Boyd did, but for a good reason, and it's because he's actually good.
Yeah, the ERA numbers have been coming down since the bad start. And his last 3 starts, he's pitched 15 and 2/3 innings, only giving up 3 earned runs. The thing that he does, he has a high chase rate, and he throws a slider, and he throws a cutter. So, White Sox. They have to mind their P's and Q's, as the conversation we're just having right there, and saying, hey, look at the pitch, understand that this dude is going to try to get you outside the zone. He's not going to try to get you inside the zone, so be patient with his pitches. If he throws you a first pitch strike, attack it. But, late in the count, he's going to be trying to get you outside the zone, so mind that and understand that what he's trying to do is get you out of the zone, and the White Sox swing a lot out of the zone. So this might be a tough customer, even though that number of 501 looks, we should be eating.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to Lucas, though. Lucas, obviously, large game. Lucas Giolito has been his nickname, and he's been their best pitcher so far. I know that we talked a lot about his trade value and that he might not be long for this team. Pretty good market to go audition in front of. No, I mean, is this
that does things? You're right. That does things when all of that all these trade pieces are being written by those national reporters. If they remember what he did against the Yankees. Right. That's something that could definitely color those things. I have no idea if it will color the minds and opinions of any actual people running baseball departments across the league. But you could maybe, if he has a big game, a large game tonight, you could perhaps hear his name pop up a little bit more. Oh, he shut down the Yankees. My goodness.
Whenever anyone says large game Lucas Giolito, we all get a cut. So we should be saying large game Lucas Giolito.
I should get all of that.
Vinnie gets the cut. He's the one who made it up.
Oh, then.
Yeah, he made LGL.
That's a joke that failed.
Sean and her just stealing money from me.
I didn't steal it. I was giving it to him. He was trying to steal it.
I have a horrible memory. But I do not remember who created it.
It was him. Yes,
Vinnie created it. Yes. I will remember that from here on. I'm so sorry. Vinnie will get you should be using it more because you get all the royalties.
The thing is, if he does have a good game, we saw today that Jacob deGrom is having another Tommy John surgery. Texas Rangers might need a starter. I know that Dane Dunning is probably fitting in for that spot, but it's not a bad thing to have an extra guy. So Lucas Giolito has a start today that is spectacular, good, and the White Sox, tumble in these 18 games that we were talking about yesterday. This might be a destination, or like in the AL East, hey, he handled the Yankees in the boogie down. Let's go and get him if we're Toronto, as they sent down to Alek Manoah today to the instructional league or some Florida.
Yeah. It's just the complex league, as opposed to, hey, go down to AAA and you'll be right on the verge here. It's go down where we got all our equipment and all of our staff, and that's where
they probably told him, hey, right. Roy Halladay did it early in his career, then came back and became a champion pitcher that he was. So, don't feel too bad that you're doing it, because a Hall of Famer like Roy Halladay did it early in his career too. But this could be a destination for Lucas Giolito in the AL East, since a couple of pitchers have gone down, and then AL West with the Texas Rangers.
I mean, you could keep going. The White Sox are in a very interesting position because they're bad, and not a lot of teams are bad, and there's a lot of playoff positions to be had.
Look at you rhyming.
That did
poet, and he didn't know it.
Exactly. But I mean, right now? There's 3 teams, including the Cubs. Oh no, Cubs are 26 and 33. 2 teams at 26 and 35. Sox and Rockies. Nationals are 25 and 34. Cards are 25 and 36. Man, they've really fallen off. Mm-hmm. And then the Royals and Athletics. So I guess
but they're all in it.
A little bit out of the base.
But those teams are in it though. The Cards are still in it because the NL Central sucks too.
So are the Sox.
Yeah. I guess.
You guess. They're 5.5 games out of first place.
The Cardinals, too.
Phillies are
101 games left. They're only 5.5 back.
Phillies are up on the Tigers, so that might give them their 33rd loss. If the Sox win today, ground could be made. All right, let's go to our clicks that pick. Vinnie, why don't you start us off?
I'm going to go with the, for some reason, much maligned Gavin Sheets. I guess he's being much maligned because his name's not Jake Berger, but I'll go ahead and go with Gavin Sheets. As you mentioned, the ability to send balls flying out of that park, maybe a nice showcase for his power today. And I'll say he gets a home run, but the White Sox lose 3-2.
Jake Berger, the real Ricky Bobby of the shake and bake combo here. A Scherger, I mean, I feel like Gavin Sheets is the Kyle Naughton, not getting the love.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just doing it because one of them is one of them is shake, by definition.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
The other one's shake and bake.
Okay, it works. I don't even know. No, I was just more saying, Ricky Bobby was the star. And,
right.
And overlooked. It's shake and bake.
The magic man.
I'm going Tim Anderson today. I mean, last time he was in New York, he hit a home run on that Sunday night game, and also the only two players in this lineup that have got a hit off of Clark Schmidt. Last year's game, I think he pitched in relief, was Tim and Yohan. I'm going to go with Tim. You'll see him more than Yohan will.
Clark saying Benintendi breakout. Oh, what's your final score prediction?
I think the White Sox are going to lose 5-4.
There we go. Clark saying Benintendi breakout. You said Sox lose 3-2. I also think the Sox lose. I'm starting a new bit. If I think the Sox are going to lose, Benny's my click to pick. All right, because he's going to have professional at bats, left to right. He's going to play average defense in left field, and oh boy, the Sox are probably going to score a run. It's not his fault, but he's going to have a fine game, and not a lot of these guys are going to have fine games. That's my reasoning here. But also, I did channel Steven here because Steven jumped in on CHGO bets and started telling me just some nonsense.
It wasn't nonsense. All right, versus left-handers, Clark Schmidt this year, 330 batting average against. Andrew Benintendi is a left-hander. He's given up 5 home runs.
Easy math.
Yeah, I just did that in my head, just like that. He's given up 5 home runs to lefties this year. And if Andrew Benintendi finally pulls the damn ball, that right field line I think is 315. That is doable.
It is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Nothing.
The White Sox are going to lose.
It is very
He has
doable.
to hit a home run eventually. So
Right.
today's
No, he
the
doesn't.
day.
Today's
Against his
the
former
day,
team.
so says Steven.
A fake revenge narrative. It's happening.
Steven is joining your click to pick.
No,
no,
Sean's joining my click to pick.
No.
Wow.
He had the pick first. I'm piggybacking him. Steven, do you want to play a little game?
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Oh, Steven, you know I love games. My games are always fair, too. They're always fun and fair.
The answer is usually 0.
Yeah, it is.
0?
Well, yeah. Oh, it's against left-handed pitching, but no, against right-handed pitching, it does have barrels. So hey, we'll see. He just needs one. We'll see what happens. Anyways, that's going to do it for.
What happened to the game? Where was the game?
Well, the game.
Did you hear
I
it?
think I won before it started. That's what
The
happened.
game was
You were going to make Steven guess something, but then you just read it.
Well, I was trying to do it on the fly, but I was trying to kind of burn his point.
Gotcha.
But I am stupid, and I was just like, his point's correct. So I was trying to get
Steven's
a
crushing
gotcha,
it.
and it's more egg on my face here.
There you
go. We'll see. I think the Sox lose 5-2. You said 5-1?
4.
Okay, 5-2. That's my pick. That's Vinnie Duber. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. That's Herb Lawrence. You can follow him on Twitter at EcknerWall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. Thank you to Greg Braggs Jr. for producing the show today, along with our guest Stephen Nicholas. We'll see if Stephen is right on the postgame show with the Andrew Benintendi pick. Maybe we'll have our first Benny bomb of the year. And we're at Billy Pierce Likes. So if you can't hit the like button on your way out, we would really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us, and we will talk to you later on, not tomorrow, because we still have a job to do and a game to watch. So we'll see you after the game. Go Sox.